Welcome, Stan.
Hi everyone, I hope you're alright. I'm Stan Larroque, I'm the founder and CEO of Lynx. I am today with you in my office because in France, now for a week, we've been able to go back to the office and try to have a normal life. In this talk, we will try to dive into Lynx and why we think it's the next chapter for mixed reality. And we will update you with specs, dates, timeline, what you should be expecting. I hope you're as excited as I am and with all my coworkers that are not there and working from home, and I hope you're doing the same thing because it's the safest thing to do right now. So let's dive into Lynx. Uh, Maybe you know what we're doing. I'm sure you've been hearing about us back in February. We had a lot of press coverage then. Um, we had many articles in many languages. It was very exciting. We've been announcing our product, the project, at the beginning of February during SPIE. It was like, here we are, this is our name, this is Lynx, and you have to play with us or not. And it was a bit hard, to try to be amongst the big players like Facebook or HTC or Google. And I think we did fine. So I'm going to give you updates about where we are. But first, I want to acknowledge that Lynx is a very small team, a very dedicated team, and this is the picture of 99% of the team. And I want to thank them because we did an incredible job, and they are really really proud of that, and I am too. And uh, seeing what we do at the office and with this product is an incredible achievement, and you will meet them in the upcoming events. I hope lately this year, and I will also explain why we are doing that. So at Lynx, we take the best state-of-the-art technologies, like the best hand tracking from Ultraleap or the best eye tracking we can find on the market. We are doing things on our own, like some of the optical modules, of the mechanical aspect, the mechanical ID, and stuff like that. We are also working with Qualcomm with the XR2 chipset for quite some time now, almost a year, and we are putting all that together in this headset we're calling Lynx R1. And this headset is a new kind of mixed reality because you can do both VR and AR. And this is where things get interesting because we are targeting the enterprise market and a little bit of the consumer market. And with this device, you can address all VR cases and many AR cases. You can do both AR and VR in the same device, which in the enterprise world, it simplifies your workload so much because you only need to buy one device for your employee. You can train him or her in VR for like a week, and then after a week of training on the shop floor of your factory or in the street, if he's an outside worker, he can use the same headset for AR, and that is very very interesting. So it means only one SDK, like one device to manage in your IT department. It makes your life much more easier. We're seeing a lot of customers that are buying some Oculus device there and some HTC device here and some HoloLens, and we want to unify all that because we can. So here we are. And so we're seeing a lot of training, remote assistance, guided work instruction, and a lot of architect for design, even artists, sculptors, and people like that who are willing to use our headsets. So our customers are here in the enterprise world, and we are building support for them. And what we are seeing is that you reduce a lot of error when you're working with MR. You all know that. There are studies out there now. And you also increase productivity, which is two very good KPIs to have in mind for convincing your manager to buy Lynx. Also, Lynx has very unique tech specs. you remember that we use a new optical module. We also have a new mechanical ID that is very, very small compared to the usual form factor you used to see on the market. We want to make a very small HMD, something that you're not afraid to put on your heads, something that you will like to use and you want to be seen with, which is a fashion question that is very hard to answer. And we are trying our best to deliver this quality and this product. And it's one of the surprises for today. It will be the last slide of my presentation, and we will dive into that later. And the important thing you have to remember is that we built this HMD around you, around our user. We only think about our user when designing. It's either the developer or the person that will wear the HMD. And for the person that will wear the HMD, it's a very hard question, like, will it fit your eyes, your head size, and stuff like that. And we've been thinking about that a lot for 6 months. The mechanical ID is very, very impressive. I'm very proud of what our industrial designer did for that. And you will have to try the headset, of course. I cannot say it's the best one in the ergonomic way, but I'm very excited, and I'm waiting for the next event when I can put it on your head, if you know what I mean. But also, if you go back here, you can see about the field of view. We have a much higher field of view for what's virtual and real. And we also have a new surprise at the end of the presentation about that. But you have to remember that our field of view for mixed reality, either VR or AR, is 90 degrees by 90 degrees, which is pretty huge if you compare it to HoloLens or Magic Leap, and is pretty standard for VR. So it's kind of best of both worlds and a little bit better even on AR. Next, here are some specs that you can find on our website, but many people have been asking about specs, about Lynx, and here are some of them. The new optics, the frame rate, 90 Hz, 90 frames per second for both the screen and the camera. They're hardware synchronized. Very low latency. We're starting to see the numbers we want to see. So I'm waiting a little bit on our official release for that, but you will be very pleased with that. We also have the 6 cameras, 2 tracking camera, 2 RGB camera, and 2 eye tracking cameras. Also the speakers, 2 channels, both for stereo speaker, and we also have 4 microphones at the bottom of the headset. We have SLAM, which means 6 degrees of freedom for tracking, like the holograms are fixed in space. We have hand tracking and we have eye tracking. We rely on third parties, companies to build controllers, because the primary way you will interact on Lynx R1 will be with your hands, which is, I think, a good way to move forward, because the hand is something much more natural than a controller. You don't need batteries for your hands. It's very, very natural. So we are building interfaces and our SDK around that. But you will, of course, be able, depending on your use case, either game or industry, to use a controller for our future partner. And we'll make an announcement at the end of June about that. Also, some specs that are not on the website, but many people were asking about is, do you have the audio jack? Yes, we do. We have 6 gigabit of RAM. We have 128 gigabit of storage. We have the SD card slots that will be on the left for additional storage, and you can do split rendering with the USB-C cable on your computer, which means that you can use your computer to render much more detailed graphics and a much higher number of polygons in your stereoscopic scene inside Lynx, which is very cool, and that is thanks to the Qualcomm technology of the XR2. The cool thing also about Lynx is that we're a small company and we want to do something different than what you're seeing from the big players, and one of these things is to deliver a product that is open and modular, which means that we are trying to deliver all the sources we can get you for the developers, which means our SDK will primarily will be very open. You can customize the device a lot. You can use the USB-C on the side to customize the headset with new sensors, different sensors, time of flights, heart rate sensor. It should be a good match with researchers, if you know what I mean. You can really customize the device, and we are very curious about what you will do with it. It will come with some samples, like remote assistance, CAD file visualization, and stuff like that. And you can do plugins. It all will be built with Unity. You have the latest version of Unity 3D, and it's underneath, under the roof, it's an Android 10 system. Also, one of the other difference, and I talk a little bit about that, is that you can have one device for all your immersive workflow in your company, which means that for VR and AR, you have the same device, which is a crazy deal. A little bit about the XR2 and the kind of compute power you have on board. With Lynx, it's a standalone device, which means that you can compare it to a smartphone device, but it's a super powerful smartphone, like the latest Samsung Galaxy S20, I think. We have almost the same chipset as they have. We have a huge GPU, a huge CPU. If you look at the specs from Qualcomm, you can see that I mean, look at the graph. It's just crazy. One of the things I want to put an emphasis on is that all the algorithms run by our services in Lynx, such as the 6DoF or the hand tracking, we try to write that on the DSPs, which means that we're not using the CPU or the GPU. We try to target the DSP for a lot of our hungry algorithms, which means that the developer, you maybe, can leverage as much as you want from the CPU and GPU. We try to free that for you so you can deliver very good experiences, crazy graphics, and we are waiting for that. So the good news today is that our industrial designer and our hardware team had much more time than what we thought because of the COVID situation. With COVID-19, we had a little bit of delay, but instead of sitting idle, and not doing anything, we try to put some more time on the device, of the design on the device, which means that what you saw before on our marketing, on our website, is a bit different today. We could play a little bit with the design, and this is just a preview of what you will see at the end of June. There are new kind of materials we use, and we could really play and put everything we had, during this time. Like for 2 months, we had the time and the energy at home, of course, to remodel Lynx. And I'm super excited for what we've been doing. It's a super classy device. I'm sure everyone who pre-ordered will like what we did. It's even slimmer. It's like 3.5 centimeters slim. It's the same kind of lenses, of course. And we try to make a device that you will love to be seen with. And that's one of the preview. And I'm not saying anything more that can spoil you, but you will see everything at the end of June, as well as demos. We were targeting everything for the end of May for AW in Santa Clara, but look at where we are now. So I'm sure you understand, but I'm also sure that you're happy and excited as I am that we could do an even better product, and we will manufacture that as it was promised this summer in Taiwan, and we'll deliver our first customers probably by the end of August, and if not, we should be there by mid-September. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Hi, Stan. Thank you. I appreciate your time. There's a couple questions that popped up during your talk. I know you answered a few, so I may repeat some of them just so everyone gets a chance to see them. But one question was, and I quote, "The optics seem crazy." I would love to learn more about the optics in Lynx. Can you Can you talk to us a little bit about, whether using, corrected prisms or waveguide or conventional optics, and maybe some of the things that you guys have advanced? Okay.
Yeah, I can confirm that the optics are crazy. I don't have the material to explain all that right now.
Sure.
I would say that they increase the overall density of pixel that you see on the screen, and we have something that is coupled with the eye tracker system that allows you to put the pixel where you want them. It's kind of foveated resolution. It's very interesting, and I can't wait to for people to try that. I will probably make a YouTube video to describe that in detail soon.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's fine. That actually kind of led to like one of my questions. When we talk about field of view in virtual reality, a little bit different than talking about field of view in augmented reality, where the eye's field of view is roughly kind of 15 to 17 degrees of what they see. So when you're using virtual reality, typically in other systems, I'm curious about your system. In other systems, the resolution outside of your foveated field of view is very low. So it sounds like you guys are using like eye trackers to, as you look around that field of view, the resolution it improves within your own kind of view. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's accurate. I can also see that there is an interesting question on the chat, if you can see it as well, from a gentleman named Bernard Kress. Where is the center of gravity of Lynx located? That's a very interesting question. The center of gravity is located approximately at the same location as the one of your head, because we put the battery at the back of the head, 270 grams of lithium polymer battery, and that should allow you to have a very comfortable, headset, just like some people did with the HoloLens 2 system.
Yeah, no, that's a great question, because I know that's just the ergonomics, and when you're trying to design hardware that can be worn for any period of time, the ergonomics are really important. So balancing that weight out is sometimes more important than just the weight itself. So I think that's a really interesting approach that you guys have taken. There's another question about gesture input and how far your hand should be from the face, and so besides just that, maybe talk a little bit about the accuracy and maybe the ergonomics of using hand gestures as your primary means of input.
Yeah, so your hands, they're actually very good controllers, and they don't need battery, and that's one of the reasons why we think that gestures are the way to go, and we will of course be compatible with third-party controllers. We're not building controllers, some other people do. They will be compatible with our system. Company Finch is doing some controllers for us, but for the gestures, we actually tilted the gesture camera a little bit down, so you don't need to have your hand. Okay. Sorry, I was saying that you don't need to put your hands above your shoulder. You can have your hands very low, and they're tracked. We track your hands at 180 degrees, and so you will have, of course, a little bit of fatigue, but we are developing gesture interfaces, so you don't have to go all the way up here to push up buttons or things like that.
Sure. Well, it's interesting. I think we're all probably. Sorry, go ahead.
No, so someone was asking like, what is our production capacity, and we are building headsets in the thousands during this summer, and we can scale that. We have a plant in Taiwan, so we're using very cheap and basic components at this point. Nothing fancy like waveguides or things with low yield. So we can actually build a lot. Yeah,
that's great. I think we're probably all excited to see this coming out in June. It's always great to see new hardware come on the market, and it sounds like you guys have learned from some of the things in the past, and I think that's what all of us are doing in the hardware space, is understanding what users have experienced in the past, and learning from those lessons and then applying them to new technology and new hardware. And certainly sounds like you guys have done a lot of that. So thank you so much. I know we're excited to see it come out in June. Appreciate your talk. And again, if you guys have additional questions, feel free to reach out directly to Stan via Twitter or LinkedIn, or through their website. So I appreciate it. I think right now we're going to go to about a 5-minute break, and then we'll join back up. But thank you again, Stan. I think some exciting stuff, and appreciate your time explaining it to us.
Okay. Thank you very much, Rich. And thank you, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.
All right. Stay safe. Be good.